So we need to talk about the FACE Act because the FACE Act is closer to collapse right now than at any point since it was passed. Not because Congress repealed it, but because the federal government has stopped treating it like a law. When enforcement becomes optional, so does safety. Remember why the FACE Act exists. It wasn't about politics, it was about violence. Between 1977 and 1993, anti abortion extremists murdered 9 people, tried to murder 17 more, bombed clinics, burned clinics, assaulted staff, and issued hundreds of death threats. These weren't random crimes, they were a strategy to make healthcare too dangerous to access. Congress stepped in because local police couldn't handle it. The 1992 Buffalo blockades proved that. Thousands of protesters physically surrounded clinics. Patients couldn't get in, providers couldn't get out. The right to care existed on paper but not in reality. That is why the FACE Act made it a federal crime to use force, threats, or physical obstruction to stop someone from getting reproductive health services or from entering a place of worship. It was supposed to be a national guarantee of safety. But today, that guarantee is being hollowed out and also misused. The Trump administration, however, didn't repeal the law. It restricted enforcement so sharply that prosecutors were told to bring FACE cases only in, quote, extraordinary circumstances. The routine threats, harassment, and blockades the law was written to stop pushed back to local authorities who already proved they couldn't manage them. Then came the pardons. Dozens of FACE Act offenders cleared, pending cases dismissed, and reporting shows a two-tiered system. Strong enforcement when the victims were religious institutions or anti-abortion centers, and almost none when the victims were abortion clinics. That is selective protection, and selective protection is no protection at all. But a law that only protects some people is a law that protects no one. And a right that depends on who holds power isn't a right, it's a privilege to be doled out to those deemed to deserve it. The FACE Act was created because violence worked. If the government signals that violence will go unpunished again, history won't stay in the past. It will repeat itself. So the question we face now isn't whether the FACE Act exists. It's whether we still believe in the principle behind it. That no one in this country should have to walk through threats or fear to exercise a legal right. If we abandon that, the text of the law won't save us.